mentioned about doing your business early on in the summer, and was that business centred around the acquisition of George Honeyman? Obviously a marquee signing from Hull City, scored an awful lot of goals for Hull in League One, scored an awful lot of goals for Hull last year. Was that really your main target during the summer, and was there an awful lot of competition to get George in the door and convince him to come to Millwall?
I think there was plenty of competition to get George in the door, and I think we were very pleased to have done that. I think he'd be a really important player for us. I think, you know, I think in terms of main acquisitions, I think you look at all of your players. You know, we brought Zian Fleming in and broke our club record, but we brought other players, you know, to bring Benny Kafobi back to the club, to bring Charlie Cresswell in, to bring Jamie Shackleton in, and you know, Andreas Vogelsammer. So I think every time you bring someone into your club, I think it's very, very important that they're the right character, the right fit. And I think George Honeyman personifies that, really. I think he's got those characteristics. He'll be happy with the loads of goals last year. I think he only scored 5. So yeah, he'd be buzzing with that. Maybe for him that's a good tally. You know, we'd hope to get him a few more. He's scored 1 already and a couple of assists. But yeah, look, he's an important signing for us, and we were very pleased to beat off the competition.
I suppose, Gary, on your opponents, Reading, Paul Ince has changed the dynamic of the Reading team in terms of its shape and its outlet, and he's gone for real experience up top, bringing back Shane Long to his first club from years of the Premier League. Tom Ince has been around the top flight as well, so it's Jeff Hendrick coming into the middle of the park as well. So he's really sort of trying to put his own sort of stamp on it and remould Reading around. You know what you're going to get from Shane Long. He's going to run himself into the ground, and the trickery then of Tom Ince. So it's a different sort of look right down through the spine of this Reading team this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when you've got a few players that leave, you've got to go down a different route. And you know, sometimes very much like ourselves, if you haven't got millions and millions to spend, sometimes, you know, the older experienced player, you know, can really help your team out, and can, you know, guide some of the other players. So the players you mentioned, you know, Long up front is an experienced operator. You know, he always, regardless of age, he always gives you that threat in behind, and, you know, he can stretch teams, and he's done that for so long in his career. And Hendrick, you know, arriving into the box with that quality in midfield, again, top players, you know. And Tom Ince, I signed him at Stoke. You know, I had him at Derby for a short spell before he left, and then I signed him at Stoke. So I know, again, you give Ince space, he's got as much quality as anyone in this division. So yeah, that's why you know, people have sort of spoke about Reading and said, you know, maybe like you can't underestimate them. We never would do that. They've got good players, they've got a good manager, they've got good staff. So you know, every game's competitive in this division. And I think you see those 3 acquisitions for them, certainly, I'm sure, will help them along the way this season.
I suppose, Gary, just on one of your own Irish players there, Danny McNamara, obviously a consistent regular now, playing in the full-back role, loads of games last year, started 40 or 5 games this year. Do you think Danny has ambitions roughly to maybe get under Stephen Kinney's eye in terms of trying to force himself onto that international team?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he played regularly for the under-21s. I think he's desperately ambitious to play for the full team. I think he's good enough to do it. I think he's shown this season and last season that he's good enough to do it. And all I can say is that, in my opinion, it's only a matter of time, I think, before he gets in that full squad, you know. But I'm not the manager. I would never tell someone who to pick. I would never do their job for him, because it's a difficult enough job. But what I would say is form and his performances, I think, certainly, you know, he'll get into that full squad, and you know, I know that's an ambition of his.
And Gary, you must be relatively pleased with the start of the season. You obviously, there's probably points maybe have gone astray, but to sit in 10th position after 5 games, and to know that you're only 2 points behind your opponent who's in 3rd place, and a win would actually see you overtake Reading. So all in all, a good start to the season, Gary. You must be sort of pleased with many aspects of it.
Yeah, pleased with lots of aspects. I think we can improve further in lots of aspects also. I think in the Championship, when you start the season, you know, if I look at some of the teams that you give yourself a real mountain to climb early on and no room for error. whereas, you know, we're in that little pack that, you know, maybe hasn't quite exploded to life yet. But again, we've had 3 away games versus our 2 home games. We've got 4 home games coming up in the next 6. So, you know, we've got to go and win them, and we've got to go and start to put back-to-back performances in a little bit more regularly. But we've been in this position for 3 years now, so I'm not surprised. You know, we usually start poorly and finish the season after Christmas really, really well. So yeah, I'm not too concerned about the start. I think we're in a reasonably healthy position, and now it's time to kick on.
And finally, for me, Gary, we all know it's important for goals from midfield and other areas to supplement the attackers. And how important is it really to challenge the talents of Tyler Burney? Obviously, 15 games last year, 2 goals. Obviously, you're probably expecting more of a scoring return this year from Tyler.
Yeah, he's a good young player. He's got that ability. You know, he has a real excellent quality in the final third. You know, we keep working with Tyler on little aspects to get him there. I think whether you start him or bring him off the bench is always a threat. You know, and I think he showed again that he can give us something really, really different, particularly in those 1v1 areas. So I've been really pleased with him. I think he'll expect more goals himself, but his return's been okay so far for the amount of games he's started, and I think that's the key.
Cheers, Gary, and best of luck against Reading.
Thank you very much. Cheers.